Your hot take is on the party rental industry.
You can't do it all by yourself. There's no way.
What would you say has been the most stressful part about owning a rental company?
Hiring people to do the work for you, it's hard to let go and to trust people that are going to do it correctly.
What is the hardest part about the busy season?
Having good people that you can trust go out and do the jobs for you.
Hi everybody, Brigitte with JumpOrange here, and today on the JumpOrange Party Rental Podcast, I have a special guest with me, JC Poroj from Family First Events and Rentals, and he also is a part of the Inflatable twins, which we have a really cool video coming out soon with them. So if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see that video as well. But yeah, JC, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so grateful you came into Orlando so I could bring you into the podcast studio and get to ask you some questions. Sure. I actually have some, a kind of controversial question, I guess. I want to know what your hot take is on the party rental industry, or what kind of controversial opinions you may have on it.
Yeah, that's definitely a good question. So many hot takes out there. It's hard to pick one, but mine has always been, starting out. We started out with one inflatable, and we've scaled up now to 65 different inflatables. Uh-oh. So hiring people and being able to grow our business has definitely been a good part, and like a challenging part, fun part. But I've always been the mindset of hiring people to do the work for us, to help grow our business, versus trying to do it all ourselves. It was just too much work. It's stressful. It ended up being way too much for us. So now we're running 3 trucks with all of our inflatables. We do tents, foam machines, bowls, all kind of stuff. And we definitely couldn't do it all ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people out there who are like, I'm going to do this all by myself, make all the profit, kind of, side hustle it, or do it on the weekends.
Yeah.
But your concept is like, no, you got to go all in.
Yeah.
You got to scale.
Eventually, you got to get to that point where you can't do it all by yourself. There's no way. I know people that are doing 20 inflatables in a day and burning themselves out. So with us, we do 30 to 40 inflatables with 6 people doing it. It's a lot easier than having one person or 2 people try to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, even setting up and picking up, it's just too much on one person. So hiring more people, getting more trucks, more routes, it just becomes a process. It's just another job, and it's a lot easier when you're dividing it by multiple routes.
Yeah, so just like go all in, invest, grow big.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then if you're hiring people, instead of looking at them as an expense on your payroll and they're taking money away from you, if you're doing it right, you're hiring the right people, you should be gaining more of what you're spending from them. So, you might pay them $100, $200, $300 a day, but they should be making you $1,500 to $1,600 a day. So it's kind of paying for themselves.
And helping you grow and expand and hire more people and cover more, houses, more accounts.
Yeah, and then you get to buy back most of your time back as well. In our business, working weekends every weekend, we've been doing it for the last 3 years. It gets old after a while. So having those people that be able to kick you out of the truck so you can take a weekend off. Like my son's birthday this past weekend, there's no way I could make my son's birthday party when we also had 40 rentals going out.
Oh my God, no.
So literally, they kicked me out of the truck Saturday and like, hey man, go. All right, cool. I'm not going to argue.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, burnout's a real thing,
sure.
Whether it happens to you year 1 or year 5.
Yeah.
So you want to just make sure you don't get to that point.
Yep, exactly. And definitely having extra help keeps you from getting to that point.
Yeah. What would you say has been the most stressful part about owning a rental company?
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand with that same topic. Hiring people to do the work for you has been very stressful for me because it's hard to let go and to trust people that are going to do it correctly. But that falls back on you from the beginning, because if you're training people the right way, if you're having those conversations and you're showing them the right way, you just take off the training wheels and let them start doing little events, little bounce houses, little slides, and then start going up from there. People will surprise you. They're paying attention. They know what they're doing, and of course you're gonna run into the bad apples that don't. But you just have to hire and fire just as fast as each other.
Yeah, you want to like empower them and have them have that sense of like ownership over the company, feeling like they are part of the success of it,
Right.
and the reason why you're making so much that weekend or doing so well. And I'm sure they can feed off of you trusting them too.
Sure.
So if you're not trusting them, they're going to be like,
Yeah, yeah. Trying to micromanage. I worked in retail in the past, and being micromanaged is the biggest like mood killer, momentum killer. It's terrible. So just letting go a little bit and having the guys do things on their own, and of course they're gonna mess it up the first couple times, but hopefully they're with you, so you could say, hey, don't do it that way, do it this way instead, or this way is better, and doing those couple things, a few times, they'll get the hang of it, they'll learn it, and then those mistakes become less and less, and then you can trust them to go out on their own and start making you money.
Yeah, definitely. And that way you can keep growing and scaling. Yeah, exactly. Just like we were first talking about,
Exactly, yeah.
So what do you think, we're coming out of the busy season. I mean, we're still in it, but it's been nonstop, I know.
For sure.
What is the hardest part about the busy season?
That same thing. Having good people that you can trust that go out and do the jobs for you. For us, for 4th of July weekend, we had all our water slides go out 3 times that week. For the 4th, for Saturday, and for Sunday.
Wow.
So we have 65 inflatables total. We have about 20 water slides, and all of those went out 3 times that week. And there's no way one person can do all that.
Mm-mm.
So we run 3 trucks. We had pickups, drop-offs, and it's hard. But like I said, having that good team built up to where you could trust them to go do the work themselves, and man, we didn't have any issues whatsoever with that whole week. We made a ton of money, bonuses for everybody because of all the work. Like I said, it's just one thing after another that they keep getting more and more confidence in, and then they get to kick me out of the truck.
Yeah. And they're seeing like the fruits of their labor
Yeah.
with a bonus. That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
What do you think, so out of all those challenges, 65 inflatables, having to flip them 3 times in a week, how do you overcome that? How do you plan logistically for that much of an influx of business?
We try to set up everything the day before and pick up everything the day after, so it helps us with not having to worry about, a party starting at 11 o'clock, the next one starting at 11:30. We just work it the best way it fits us in our routes. And sometimes it was easier to pick up a water slide, bring it back to either my house or the warehouse and leave it there, having somebody else come and pick it up and take it to the next drop off, because it just made sense that a group of slides would go together instead of having to try to run back and forth across town multiple times.
Yeah, that makes sense. So to figure that out though, logistically, did you use a software or did you?
I just did it by myself. I'm still using old school with the map, Google Maps.
Crunching it out, trying to figure out the game plan.
Putting all the houses in on Google Maps and trying to figure out the best way. I've used IO a couple times, and I just haven't figured it out 100%. So
yeah,
and we're too busy for me to spend too much time on it. So
hopefully
by next season.
Yeah, and it can be hard to figure out all the little details, especially when it comes to that big of a operation. But it also sounds like because you scaled and you hired those employees, you're able to spend the time sitting on Google Maps mapping it out for them.
Yeah, for my guys and my team, it doesn't matter what the job is, whether we're doing a bounce house, a water slide, a tent, a foam machine, it doesn't matter. I can send out any of the groups, they pick it up, they drop it off. It doesn't even have to be the same groups. We have everything worked out in such a process that everybody knows the straps are underneath the bounce house. We tried from the beginning trying to take it with you, and it just doesn't work. So we set everything to where any group can go and pick up or drop off, and it's the exact same thing every single time. So there's no guessing, there's no wasted time. You just muscle memory everything we've already done.
Yeah, so you have like strong procedures set in place that help your team do have a successful event every time, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I said, it doesn't matter a water slide or a tent. It's the same thing to us. Everybody is trained across the board on everything. So if I go set it up and then somebody else comes to pick it up, it doesn't matter.
So if someone calls out sick or...
Just interchangeable, different teams. We rotate the teams around a lot too, so everybody's comfortable working with everybody else. We have a pretty good like camaraderie going on with all the guys. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what truck you jump in today. We all know we're working. We all know it's going to be hot, but we get the job done no matter what.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much. I appreciate you coming in and talking with me and giving some advice to the industry. So yeah, we've got a video coming out where we're going to show you a little bit more on some tips of rolling our big inflatables. So if any of you've got some 25 footers and you still don't really know how to master the roll, JC and Jason with the Inflatable Twins are going to show you how. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Comment below. Let us know what your hot take for the party rental industry is. What's your controversial opinion? And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening to the Jump Orange Party Rental Podcast.